Woo! -10 is what it could feel like by 6:30 Monday morning. Here's the thing. This is already dangerous enough that you could be injured if you're outside for only a short amount of time. Find that heaviest snow working in as of now, and it's slow moving, but we will track this into the Bowling Green area. Then as we get you towards 8 o'clock, we start to warm things above freezing. We transition that over to all rain. The bad news is road surface temperatures are below freezing right now. But then you focus on impacts. Where's the greatest possibility of icy roads and school closings? Well, it's northern and eastern Kentucky that has that greatest potential for widespread school closings and travel delays. The grass not covered yet, but the roads certainly white. Visibility is reduced, and we're going to watch that continue to intensify through the next several hours. In fact, taking you hour by hour, you have a severe thunderstorm warning that is working its way into town now. This will move just to the south of Russellville as we go through the next half hour or so for some damaging winds. That's what we've seen across southern Indiana pretty much all afternoon. That's where they've actually had some of the ingredients for tornadoes as well. They currently have a tornado warning in southern Indiana. This is near the community of Salem. This is a squall line of showers and thunderstorms that is racing to the south and east. You have your severe thunderstorm watches, yes, and then these small orange boxes of severe thunderstorm warnings that are embedded within that. We also create ponding of water on the roadways. You've got your hydroplaning risk. Of course, you could have roof leaks with this. You might want to think about cleaning out your gutters out ahead of this early tomorrow if you do have the chance. Flooded parking lots, flooded low-lying areas, all things to be concerned about. Now, if anyone sees snow, that greatest chance that showed you on the model is pretty much just south of the area, along and south of the Cumberland and Natcher Parkways and north of the I-40 corridor. So here in Ohio County, in fact, if I reach down, you can grab just a little bit on my glove and blow that off there. There's about ½ an inch here, and we're starting to watch the clouds roll in once again. It looks like there's another round of snow that may move into Ohio County as we go through the overnight hours. Now, for this eclipse, it's a little hot out here. I'm starting to sweat, and I'm joined here with Tommy Renshaw. He is the sales manager here at Patriot Chevrolet GMC. Tommy, I've got a question for you. What does that thermometer say?
99 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now, it's not 99 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like about 1 million out here. And you are wearing all black. Are you warm?
I'm a little warm out here.
Oh, boy. It just got very dark out here. Totality, my friend, totality is taking over. I have my eclipse glasses on. We are in Bailey's Beads right now, and totality is here. I am looking at the corona.
I'm looking, Chris. Do you see winter?
No,
anywhere?
I can't find winter. Do you think it's coming this year?
I don't think, we haven't seen any of it.
Chris, what are you doing? What is going on?
Jacqueline,
you have got to tell me.
Jacqueline, my calendar is broken. It says it's supposed to be winter, and it's not.
Right, that's a perfect day to get outside and go for a walk.
Catch me outside. I might be
How about that?
I might be hiking. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on right now. One of the most exciting relationships I've ever had. Now, I'm going to smile. Go ahead and take your screenshots. Screenshots. All right, now let's go ahead and get serious. Let's talk about the heat.
First Alert Weather, sponsored by the Medical Center.
Still dealing with some patches of dense fog out there, but as the sun continues to rise this morning, we're seeing a little bit of that begin to burn off. We had heavy fog outside of the station earlier today, but now things are beginning to improve. Here's a live look at Russellville Road and the Natcher Parkway. You see the fog now starting to move its way to the other side of the Natcher just a little bit. That's a trend we'll continue to watch as the sun continues to come up and heat the ground this morning. Temperatures are in the upper 30s. The airport and the mezzanette sitting at 39 degrees right now. No wind out of the south, and that's what helped build a lot of that fog as we went through the morning. We go towards northeastern Kentucky. Temperatures are a little bit warmer. They're at 47 in Lexington. This is where there was more cloud cover overnight. Those clearing skies that we had overnight is what allowed our temperatures to become a little cooler before we had that fog develop. Showers to our north and east, just some fog for us with sunshine at least trying to take over just a little bit. Here's that shower activity. It's now working its way to the north and east of the Cincinnati metro as well, working its way into portions of eastern Kentucky and central and eastern Ohio there. over to our west. We do have at least some cloud cover trying to come back in to the picture. We'll watch that stream in as we go through the rest of the day. But that disturbance that came through last night, moving out of here, high pressure to our south and east taking control. That's going to mean a southwesterly wind, which will allow for our temperatures to really warm up as we go through the next 12 hours. We're talking 59 by 12:30, 62 by the time the kids are getting out of school. Lots of folks are headed home this afternoon. We will at least see some cloud cover, though, try to stream back into the area later on today. So it'll be somewhat of a dreary kind of day once again, but a lot better than what we've seen for the past couple of days. That warmth is what rules the weather as we go at least through Wednesday and into Thursday. In fact, we're talking upper 60s on Thursday, rain and thunder coming in late. Then into Friday, it's a mix of ice and snow with significant accumulations possible. This is the true focus of the forecast right now. Already this low starting to gain strength across the Four Corners region. That will be taking a path across the deep south and towards the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Let's go ahead and show you the model breakdown on how this is all playing out for us. Here's the GFS showing that rain into Thursday, and that changes over to snow Friday night and into Saturday, January the 13th. Here's the European model, very similar. It shows the rain changing over to snow into the 13th. It takes the heaviest axis towards portions of central and eastern Kentucky. Future Max is in between the two models there. Here it is, 6:30 on Friday morning. We see temperatures in the 30s, lots of heavy rain and sleet, or freezing rain and sleet, as you work your way to our west. But that progresses eastward through the day as temperatures begin to fall on Friday. We get you into Friday afternoon, temperatures start to fall below freezing. This is pretty much a wintry mix at this point that eventually will change over to snow as we get you into Friday night and over onto the morning of the 13th. We'll have to keep a very, very close eye on this system. There's still a lot of unknowns. There's a little bit we do know. We do know that the potential of a winter storm is certainly rising and that it'll likely start as rain Thursday night or early Friday. We do know that significant accumulations of ice and snow are possible, but we're still just not sure on the exact track of this storm system, where the most substantial bands are going to set up, how much of everything we'll see, and it's just too soon to talk those amounts. But the threat of a storm is getting closer. We're starting to get a better idea on where that greatest threat is. That's everywhere in the red. So that includes the WBKO viewing area up towards Lexington, Cincy, Louisville, back towards Evansville, and west towards Paducah, and to the south of Nashville. This is that area that has the greatest potential, at least, to see some significant icing and or some snow as we go into the weekend. This will be fine-tuned as we get closer. We still have a lot of questions to answer, so stay tuned. But yes, we are certainly watching this one very closely, especially Friday night into Saturday. Rain likely on Thursday as well. We'll see highs in the upper 60s, falling to about 45 as we get you Thursday night. That's your high on Friday as temperatures continue to drop into the 20s, changing any rain over to a wintry mess and some snow that'll linger into Saturday morning, folks. Then as we get you into Sunday, we are staying cold, watching another light snow chance as we get you into next week, but we've got to get through the weekend first before we can watch next week. Laura. For more than 70 years, he's called the Claypool community home. But on March 1st came the rain, the wind, and yet another twister. For Glenn Johnson, this shingle only serves as a reminder of the times it's happened before.
Make sure you're ready to meet your maker, because you might do it in a tornado.
It's been 43 years since the tornado outbreak of 1974. 148 tornadoes, 13 states. Within hours, more than 300 were dead, 2 of them in Warren County, Kentucky.
You don't see nothing, sir, because it happens too quick.
It's been 19 years since the hailstorm of '98, costing more than $10 million in damage to Greenwood Mall alone. Often forgotten about that day was the tornado in Warren and Barron counties that claimed the lives of 2 more.
Thank you, God, for being alive. That's what you think.
And it's been a mere 6 weeks since March 1st. Severe storms slammed the area during the morning rush hour, once again meeting Warren County with nature's twisting fury.
When you see death from a tornado, you see damage from a tornado, and people walk away from it, well, you've got to know there's a higher power.
3 tornadoes, 2 instances of lives lost, and 1 small-town man who remains unshaken, still living in the area that he calls Tornado Out of Warren County.
I lived there, moved there when I was 5 years old. And my mom and dad lived there until they passed away.
Generations of family history, all within one house.
It's your home place. Your home place is, I've often told a lot of people, I can stand right here, and if you see the top of that house, to the right of this black and white barn here, top of that house, that big tree, that's where I was born at, on January 5th, 1941.
And a lifetime of memories threatened to be taken away when a tornado damaged Glenn Johnson's childhood home just weeks ago.
Is it gone? You know, can I save it?
Those thoughts racing through Johnson's mind after support columns were blown out from under the roof. But there was more.
There was a building sitting right here. It was blown against this side of the house. It was right in here. The concrete pad out there, that was before you had inside plumbing. And it stood there through all the tornadoes, but this one got it.
So much property destroyed, but thankful that his childhood home remained spared yet again.
Unfortunately, I guess that we could be considered the tornado alley of Warren County because we've had 4 here since 1974.
Each one with a vivid story to be remembered, but 1974 being the most haunting.
I got home from work that afternoon, the wife had supper ready, and we'd sat down to eat supper, and the front door kind of rattled.
What he wasn't prepared for were the words he would hear next.
"Oh my God," Glenn said, "it's a tornado."
Or what he would soon see.
There was a house, it's quite a ways, about a half a mile down the road here. That house went into the air, and you've all seen The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. That's what that house looked like till it got into the air and exploded in the air.
Taking the life of a beloved area teacher.
And I had the unfortunate experience, or fortunate experience, to help rescue the ones that was in that house and find Miss Barbara, and it was a very devastating time.
And also severely injuring a close cousin.
He was in his pickup truck, and he got out of his pickup truck, and the tornado caught him, and he caught a hold of a guide wire to a telephone pole or a light pole, and it beat him.
Bruised, battered, and unrecognizable.
I didn't even recognize him. He was that beat up, muddy, and nasty.
While the tornado of 1974 was the most devastating for Johnson, the act of nature was no stranger in the years that followed. So I asked him,
how has that prompted you to prepare today in advance?
Well, you listen for the warnings, if they're coming. We have a basement.
Then came the cold truth that only comes with experience.
You can't really prepare for it. You're never completely ready for when something like this happens.
If there's one thing that everyone who saw this story could take away, what do you think they should take away from this?
It could happen to anyone at any time. Make sure that when you leave home or you leave your loved ones, tell them you love them, because you might not get to come back to see them. And that life is short. Live it to the fullest and worship God.